that hyper aggressiveness that kind of maybe we see in some of the action type movies, right? And then there's like an ego driven or passive and disengaged or overly domesticated view of masculinity. Yeah. So with that first one, I think the problem is that many young men inherit or have been shown an example of either a shallow or distorted view of what it means to be a man, right? We either see like this hyper aggressiveness, which is what I call false masculinity, right? Because we don't know any better, and we think that to be a man I have to be super aggressive, right? And there's a time and place for aggressive default aggressiveness, right? But that hyper aggressiveness that kind of maybe we see in some of the action type movies, right? And then there's like an ego driven or passive and disengaged or overly domesticated view of masculinity, which is maybe what we see in some of the sitcoms these days, right? The husband's always kind of like the buffoon and kind of like the comic relief in these sitcoms, and they portray these husbands as less than masculine, right, for lack of a better term. So I think part of it is pop culture, social media, and even some broken models from fatherhood. So that's kind of what I see as the problem. Do you agree? Would you add anything to that?
Yeah, I would say a lot of, at least from my experience, what I see is people trying to emulate what a man is instead of actually being, they kind of just do what they see, kind of like monkey see, monkey do, right? The only real knowledge they have on what it means to be a man is what they see because nobody ever talked to them about this is actually what it means, right? They just see the stereotypes of being a man and they think that that's what it means to be a man. So they copy those stereotypes instead of actually understanding the deeper meaning behind all of it.
Yeah, and would you say some of those stereotypes or are like external markers like that money and we see it on social media, right? People with posing in front of their guys posing in front of a rented jet and sex and kind of a status and more of an aesthetics thing than an actual internal character type thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it is all how many girls can you get, or you know, what is the craziest thing you could get into out in town at a night out at the bars or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I would call that false masculinity, right? I'm going to probably talk about that a lot and use that term a lot today. But what we're really looking for is that internal character, and you hit on it a little bit, right? The integrity, right? But like integrity, discipline, courage, service to others. Those are the kind of character traits that are truly masculine, right? The money and the status and the sex symbol and all that. That's not you know that's not manhood, right? So, what do you see as possible solutions to this problem of this false understanding of what it means to be a man?
So I think this my first solution can be applied to all all three of the problems, but it starts with the people that do know, right? The people that are a man, they do understand what it means to be a man. Is it's on them to explain to the younger guys, whether it's your son or somebody through work, like through the Marine Corps or through whatever job it may be, or just another young boy in your family, or him through going to the same restaurant every Friday night, right? It's on those guys who actually know what it means to be a man to steer these people in the right direction. Because if you don't know what right looks like, how can anybody expect you to get it right?
Yeah. So
So
like healthy role models, right?
yeah, I think